Authorities neutralise yet another explosive device in Durban. The police minister says the fired ANC official could be linked to other crimes, but who is Errol Velile present? We hear from his wife, who says she's shocked by his arrest. This is eNews at 8, live from Johannesburg. I'm Sally Burdett. Good evening. And we start in Durban. Yet another explosive device has been found, and yet again a Woolworths store has been targeted, this time in the city's CBD. Desan Thathia reports the police have their hands full sorting the hoaxes from the real bombs.
This now makes it the fourth Woolworths store where we are seeing incidents like this, and now about 7 in total if you count those other incidents under those where these devices were found under parked cars near the where the Greyville Racecourse where the Vodacom Durban July was taking place, as well as that Spa store in Wentworth. And once again, as you mentioned, Kathy, still a number of hoax calls also coming through. Even just today, another hoax at the La Lucia Mall. Last week, we found ourselves at the Pavilion Mall for another hoax, and the Phoenix Police Station, as well as the Columbia Mall. So police really do have their hands full because, as you imagine, they have to treat every one of these cases as though it's real. And in this particular instance, it proved to be just that. I'm standing outside that Woolworths store in the Durban CBD on the Pine Street side, and that's where that device that we're talking about was found earlier today.
The wife of a former ANC employee allegedly linked to 3 cash heists believe the police may have got the wrong man. Errol Velile present was arrested 2 weeks ago after a cash and transit heist in Dobsonville, Soweto. But the police minister says the ANC has been suspicious of him for a while. Now, the party fired him this week. Aldrin St-Pierre has spoken to Present's wife.
I was so shocked. I'm not even coping. I've actually even lost weight because I can't even eat. I can't even talk to him. What really is going on.
Velile Present's wife doesn't believe her husband is capable of carrying out the heist he's accused of being part of. Her conviction is further supported by what her husband's lawyer told her after an identity parade.
So what happened? No. Now lama witnesses pointing out. So they say he wasn't there. And all these others were not there. So I get so I understand if they have nothing on him.
But the police minister seems to believe they have their man.
This is third cash heist. It's not the first one. I think 2 are at Northwest and plus this one.
Present has been fired from the ANC's Luthuli House headquarters, where he worked for over 10 years.
He was like an organizer that would organize activities of the ANC. He would be in different provinces doing audits for ANC membership.
Present's most recent boss, ANC head of organizing Senzo Mkhunu, would not speak on the matter. There are also questions about how Present and his business partner, Moses Bushomani, acquired a multi-million rand Limpopo farm. Present's wife confirms the business deal, but is not sure whether there's any truth to the report that former Land Reform Minister Kukile Nkwinti facilitated the flouting of procedures to seal the deal.
Uveli couldn't be hands-on most of the time he was this side. So almost had relocated to Limpopo. And then only later he found out now the farm say he's and everything. So they are very busy by attending that case farm. Otherwise
What was his role at the farm?
I'm not sure.
Aldrin St-Pierre, Johannesburg.
To the fractured politics of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, and a last-minute court interdict to stop the provincial elective conference has failed. This was the second bid to prevent the event from going ahead. The ANC's provincial task team previously said it had reached an agreement with disgruntled branches in KwaZulu-Natal. After today's unsuccessful court bid, the conference is now taking place in Durban. Delegates have gathered at the Durban University of Technology. Our reporter Samkela Maseko says the ANC seems to be on a winning streak with their legal battles.
This is the third victory for them, or the fourth rather, when it comes to court litigation over provincial conferences. It started in Limpopo, spread to Gauteng with the Ekurhuleni Regional Conference, which they won that court case. They won the court case yesterday against the application to interdict the Gauteng Provincial Conference, which, if I'm not mistaken, starts this afternoon or tomorrow. So it seems as if they've got their ducks in a row on legal warfare, and then now they've just won the court not to interdict the provincial conference here. Those application was dismissed with cost.
Business tycoon Christo Visser has denied he owes SARS any money. The Amabongani investigative team is reporting he's implicated in tax evasion totaling billions of rand. But the former Steinhoff chair says the allegations are false.
Allegations are completely unfounded, misrepresented, and the tragedy is that a lot of the commentators have difficulty reading English. If you read the article, you will see that there are two issues where there's a dispute with SARS. The first one is for an amount of 3.7 billion rand, which has absolutely nothing to do with Titan, as you very clearly, the article makes very clear. The second one is for an amount of 217 million rand, where there's a dispute between 3 or 4 individuals and SARS, which is the subject of a court matter, which will be adjudicated shortly. Simply because after the restructuring was done by ENS and other tax advisors for the Tullow Group, there was a number of shelf companies that came out of that restructuring. That restructuring, SARS now alleges, cost or the taxpayer avoided paying tax in what is now an amount of 3.7 billion rand. That happened long before I bought this small subsidiary company out of that structure. And in that structure, for the period that we owned it, we have now run into a dispute with SARS, which is being adjudicated. I think the court hearing is on the August 22nd this year. It's been dragging on for years.
Some rather bleak economic news. South Africa's economy is growing more slowly than expected. Today, the growth outlook for the year was revised down from 1.7% to 1.2%. But there is some good news. The price of borrowing money is not going up. For now. This afternoon, Reserve Bank Governor Lesetja Kganyago announced he's keeping the repo rate at 6.5%. However, the Reserve Bank Governor says inflation is still a worry, along with the weakening rand. This could mean we're in for a series of interest rate hikes in the near future. Still ahead on eNews, the police minister dismisses calls for the army to be deployed to crime-ridden areas of the Western Cape. The police minister says the army is not the answer to the Western Cape's ganglands. He believes Operation Thunder, which is deploying special police units to the area, is the way to go. As Peladi Setusa reports, this is a very different plan to that of the previous police minister, Fikile Mbalula.
We have not reached, and we are not about to reach, the time where we are going to deploy the SANDF members in the Western Cape.
Police Minister Bheki Cele says the army would potentially pose more harm if deployed, as they don't have the requisite training. Even though last year his predecessor, Fikile Mbalula, said deployment was imminent.
I need to sweep this place, and I'm doing it now with the police. I'm sweeping it. I want to intensify. I want those guns. I want to confiscate them. The soldiers are not coming here to kill anybody. They will deal with anybody who is combative.
Cele says he spoke out of turn.
There was no Operation Thunder when Bucks agreed. I guess people of Western Cape don't want the army per se, they want safety.
Western Cape Premier Helen Zille has this week written to plead her case for deployment once again, while DA leader Musi Maimane took to the streets with the same call. Instead, Kele is relying on the marginal success of Operation Thunder, which saw close to 300 officers from specialized units deployed to the province since May. They have so far made 91,000 arrests, including hitmen who work for gangs, drug dealers, and people involved in cash-in-transit heists. Piladi Situsa, Cape Town.
Well, the Democratic Alliance says it won't back down on its call for the army to be deployed.
South Africa has the highest murder rate of a country that is not at war. The murder capital is here. We don't want our people to die. I want them to see Christmas, and we are here to call for the army. Democrats, here's where we are going to go from here. I will invite all the people. You are a disciplined group of South Africans. But I want you to know the surest way we can make sure that all of us have a future, that our children have a future, that our mama and our daughter are safe, is when we stand up and we say, just here. We are not saying the army must go everywhere. We are saying in this community of Nyanga, of Philippi, of Kukuletu, of Menambe, of Seth, let us come together, bring the army, let us stabilize the situation. It will never be stable until the gangs are behind bars, until the people know they can walk around at night safe, knowing that they are protected. And the day is coming when the DO will take over South Africa. And when that day comes, we will make sure we put the citizens first.
While the debate around the prickly issue of land expropriation without compensation rages on, a Cape Town family is pleading for land that is rightfully theirs. Leanne Jansen spoke to them.
Juanita Solomon and his sister share the pain of having nowhere to call home. They feel the family has, for a second time, been done in by government.
That is the house that my father built from scratch, Alhainen, the brick house, and then we moved from there to right over there with a wooden iron house that he made the family comfortable in until the council came and told us that we need to move, and for no apparent reason.
Apartheid laws forced the Solomon family off this land in 11th Avenue in Cape Town's retreat suburb in the 60s. The land was awarded back to the family in 2015 amid much fanfare by the city of Cape Town. Yet the family say neither the city nor Land Claims Commission have been forthcoming with information about the title deed. Solomon is pleading to the president for help. All she wants is for her family to reap the rewards of years of toil before she dies.
If justice can't be served now, then he can take me to the smallest island of the country of my birth, or the highest peak, or the deepest cave to end my days.
Solomon now lives in a wood and iron structure just 3 roads from the plot. Her daughter, Jean Baker, occupies a dilapidated Wendy house on the property.
My mother's nearly 80. We just wanted to reap the benefits of her father because they have worked on that land. They've sweat on that land. It is theirs. But the city and the lands can't go on as if it is theirs. It's not their father's to begin with. Why are they doing this injustice to us? They are just workers supposed to do what they're getting paid to do without taxpayers' money.
The city of Cape Town's Brett Heron says local government sold the land to the Land Commission for 5.6 million rand way back in 2015, with a resolution that the land be transferred to the claimants. Several requests to the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform for comment have been ignored. Leanne Jansen, Cape Town.
Recapping your top stories, authorities neutralise yet another explosive device in Durban, the 7th in 2 weeks.
I was so shocked.
The police minister says the fired ANC official could be linked to other crimes, but his wife says they've got the wrong man. Got your weather next, and then getting creative with chewing gum. An Egyptian creates a whole new art form.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the Weather Centre. Let's take a look at your Friday's weather conditions, and tomorrow is going to be mostly dry over South Africa, although there could be some light rain at first for the far north coast of KwaZulu-Natal as well as the escarpment areas of Limpopo. That will have cleared out by mid-morning, and as we head into the afternoon it's going to be sunny for most areas, although closer to the western coastline a little bit of cloud will be hugging the area, and it's also going to be a somewhat cooler day over the region. Taking a look at the city forecast in the Northern Cape, it will be mostly sunny and dry, staying quite cool in the southern parts where temperatures will remain below the 20-degree mark. The summer-like days come to an end for Cape Town tomorrow with a high of 19 under partly cloudy conditions, but towards the Garden Route the very warm weather persists. George reaches a high of 27. Warm as well as we cross over into the Eastern Cape. It will be a sunny afternoon all across this province, 25 degrees for Bishu as well as for Port St John's. And in KwaZulu-Natal, Ladysmith drops below freezing point just before sunrise, but not too bad in the afternoon with a high of 21. Partly cloudy skies for Bombela as well as Skukuza, but on the Mpumalanga Highveld it will be sunny and cold, and cooler air remains in place over Limpopo once again with partly cloudy skies, and not forgetting about that drizzle that will be possible in the morning for Thohoyandou. Sunny, dry and cold weather expected all across the northwest as those temperatures also struggle to reach the 20-degree mark. And for the Free State, it will be another frosty morning in the province as many areas drop below freezing point. And finally, for Gauteng, not too much change over the province. Clear skies, but staying quite cold. Johannesburg reaching a maximum of 17 degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at your weekend weather, and it's going to be a dry Saturday all across the country. Cooler for Georgia, 21, but slightly warmer in Gauteng as Pretoria climbs to 20. And that warming trend continues on Sunday, while in the west, Berg winds will push temperatures up once again.
And finally, an Egyptian artist is turning chewing gum into miniature canvases. Ahmed Raghab draws tiny portraits of celebrities on chewing gum, pills and pumpkin seeds. He says he's inspired by Picasso.
Self-taught artist Ahmed Raghab wanted to draw a portrait but couldn't find a piece of paper, so he carved it on a small piece of chewing gum. Raghab says this was the start of something unique.
مسكت اللبانة وحاولت ان انا ارسم عليها حاجة بسيطة، كانت عين في الاول، بعد كده لقيتها طلعت كويسة، قلت طب انا ليه ما ارسمش بورتريه كامل في المساحة دي. حاولت واتدربت واحدة واحدة لحد ما الموضوع ظبط معايا.
Raghab says drawing on tiny canvases has become his own way of escaping trouble in Egypt. Pictures of his art are being circulated on social media.
Recapping your top story this evening, authorities neutralise yet another explosive device in Durban, the 7th in 2 weeks. And that's your news. Take care and good night.